state of Mosul. Recently, they managed to retake 2 more districts from the terrorists, but despite the military successes, civilians trapped in the war-torn city are paying a heavy price. And a warning, you may find some of the images you are about to see upsetting.
مضروبة بظهرها وابن خالي راح توفى دفناه هنا بقيارة.
There is no other place to take them. So this hospital is the unique hospital that receives the traumatized and also the death from the civilian people.
يعني كان يضرب بيتي يوقع 5 6 تقدر تفوت بالفرع وتشوف تصور. اي طيران يضرب على مود شخص واحد يوقع بيت كامل. كانوا يضربوني ما يقدرون
قطعوا يدين وابني عمر وهذا صار بينا هذا الجرح. جابوني هنا. الله يسلمك.
According to the United Nations, up to 400,000 people have been displaced since the start of the U.S.-led operation to liberate Mosul from ISIL. Over 6,000 have been hospitalized, and as we just saw, the hospitals are barely coping. Human rights activist Mike Ratty believes the anti-ISIL bombing campaign is now counterproductive.
The coalition knows there's going to be civilian casualties. They know that they're bombing areas where ISIS is held prisoners captive and acting as human shields. So it's really careless and in fact reckless, not to mention against international law, to actually use airstrikes in areas like this. And I can understand the fear of the civilians in Mosul. What they see in terms of US airstrikes is discriminate carnage. They can't defend themselves against this. The US airstrikes and the coalition airstrikes are becoming really counterproductive now, and I think they're only fueling the conflict. And if people on the ground can see what the US is doing, they're likely to become radicalized and become anti-US.
Now, the United Nations has elected Saudi Arabia to its Women's Rights Commission, despite Riyadh repeatedly being rebuked for failing to respect gender equality. And it's not the first time the appointment of the Saudis to a human rights body has caused anger. RT's Miguel Francis Santiago takes a look.
Saudi Arabia not long ago was re-elected to the UN Human Rights Council, where it influences major decisions on human rights across the globe. But something's not right when you hear Saudi Arabia and human rights in the same sentence now, is it? Saudi Arabia's rights track record features regular executions, including by decapitation, like 47 beheadings in one day, while women are banned from driving by law, with another cultural custom of men exercising complete dominance and control of women's everyday life. Well, for the next 4 years, this country is set to be in charge of watching over women's rights all around the world. Critics did not mince their words.
Electing Saudi Arabia to protect women's rights is like making an arsonist into the town fire chief.
The United Nations continues to be its own punchline.
Absurd. UN couldn't have done bigger injustice to women's cause.
I wish I could find the words to express how I feel right now. I'm Saudi and this feels like a betrayal.
The question that comes to mind is how could such an absurd mix like Saudi Arabia and human rights, women's rights and what have you, actually come to fruition in today's UN? Whatever happens going forward, it seems more of the unexpected is to be expected coming out of the UN. Miguel Francis Santiago, RT.
More than women's rights. The United Nations has criteria by which countries are supposed to be elected to their highest human rights body. It includes promoting and protecting human rights, having a record that promotes human rights. That's in the resolution from 2006, which created the Human Rights Council. However, the way it works in practice is that political deals are made behind closed doors.
Up next here on RT.